Emily Chong. No idea.
It's Amelia Chong.
Ano pa naman, counting lag time.
Kusum is coming. Emily. No.
Hi.
Oh.
Hey, Kusum.
Hi,
Yeah.
hi.
We cannot
Kusum.
see you.
Same
Hello.
wall, Kusum Fernando. Hi.
Emily, hi.
Still
Long
COVID.
time no see.
Still
Long time no
COVID,
see.
surviving with COVID.
Yeah. It's been 2 years.
Okay, we're streaming live.
Very good.
Yes.
We'll be starting in 3 minutes.
All right.
Yep. Okay, good. And Emily's, I don't know what happened to Emily's. Okay. How are you, Kusum?
Hi.
Okay, 3 minutes. Gombo, have you invited your friends to join you?
Yeah, I asked them.
So did you share the link with them?
Yes.
Right. Two minutes. And also, Gombo, people will ask questions. In
Yes.
the chat room. They will ask questions in the chat room, or they will leave the message on Facebook.
Okay.
We will read the questions to you
Okay.
later.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute.
Oh, Michele.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, Mongolia. I want to know what's going on in Mongolia.
Horseback
Nothing
riding.
happened.
Horseback riding.
We're riding horses and eating meat.
Ah,
Let's do it. Let's do it. Game.
Hey, Adakaki-san.
Okay,
oh,
officially 9 p.m.
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock now. So, Mike.
We start? Countdown?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, Nigel.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sure. Good evening, Asia. Tonight we start the second season of the Asian Bird Fair online talk. With the theme Beyond Birding, we invite speakers from conservation organizations, the academe, birding tour companies, hotels and lodges to share their conservation programs and projects. We hope that through their experiences, we not only learn, but also inspire more people to start their own advocacies to create environmental awareness and protection, and also to benefit local communities. Our speaker tonight is a longtime supporter of the Asian Bird Fair. He is the General Director of the Mongolian Ornithological Society and a full-time staff of the National University of Mongolia. Let us welcome Dr. Gombobaatar Sundev. Dr. Gombo.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes. Hello.
All right. Right. Okay. Oh, oops. What's happened? All right.
Share your screen.
Sorry, share screen.
Yes. It's good.
Good.
Yeah, now full screen.
Okay. Hold on.
Perfect.
Good. Can we start?
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, all. My name is Gombobaatar, actually quite long name. Just call me Gombo, it will be easier. And I remember my name as well. So very nice to see all of you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share some experiences and knowledge about birds and birding in Mongolia. Thanks for the introduction, Mike. So here is the content of my talk. Hope the talk will not boring. Please bring your coffee to refresh yourself. The overview of the Mongolia. I like to give you overview of Mongolia, the country of nomads, introduction to birds, birding and destinations, birding and education, conservation, citizen science, and some scientific publications and partnerships. This is my whole talk tonight. Perhaps not many people know the Mongolia. That's why I like to give very general overview about Mongolia. So Mongolia has the 1.5 million square kilometers from east to west. Here is east to west, run 2,000 kilometers, and north to south, run 1,250 kilometers. So the Mongolia is one of the less populated country, 0.5 square kilometer per person. Well, interesting thing is the population size of Mongolia 3.2 million, let's say 3.3 million people, but half of them, 50% of the population live in Ulaanbaatar. The Ulaanbaatar is capital of Mongolia. Another interesting fact that we do have 67 million livestock. So the Mongolia is landlocked country. They would say large and resource-rich country. So this is the population size of Mongolia. You can see the total male and females, man and woman. The total population I mentioned to 3.3 million. So you can see this the big graph. Around 32 million sheep and 29 million the goats. Only 500 half million the camels we have. So the Mongolia, we do have the two different lifestyle. I think in your country do as well. The urban life, like we do, meeting to meeting, busy, or we say very busy life. So if you go to the countryside, that's the different lifestyle. We call the the nomadic lifestyle, which is free thinking and free ranging life. Well, I like to live like that, but I can't because too many the meetings here. So 230,000 the nomad families live in countryside. There's white tent. Please do not call it tent or yurt, whatever. We call the ger, G-E-R, ger. They live in ger camps. They breed their livestock, 67 million livestock. So the country, you can see the background of the white gers. There's not very nice mountains. The steppe eagle and Seke falcons, they breed in those mountain areas. So nomadic lifestyle always balances the coexistence of the wildlife and human life. So as I mentioned, the people who live in the countryside, they're nomadic. No traffic lights, nothing. So we use the horses, camels for transport and meat as well. Still very primitive transport system, but we use the expensive cars like modern people use. So this old woman sprinkling a milk to migratory birds, wishing them good journey to the wintering ground. This was the very, very common tradition for Mongolians, but unfortunately, we're losing it. Very shame. So Mongolia, we do have 4 different seasons, not like Southeast Asian countries where our friends live the 365 days green. We do have very nice gray, not nice, but gray spring, very, very nice green summer, which is we like it, golden autumn, and white cold winter. So we do have the continental, the climate. Our body should adapt or shall adapt. -30 in winter and +25, 30 in summer. So now in Mongolia, spring is coming. Some great singing in garden. So I like to give the just that overview of the biodiversity. We do have the 3,163 species of vascular plants, 570 moss, more than 2,000 algae, more than 600 species of the fungi, more than 1,000 species lichen in Mongolia. So 140 species of trees and shrubs. So 12,000 species of insects, which is very interesting. Why not 12,001? But anyway, that's the number I got. So 162 species of moth and 80 species of subspecies of freshwater fishes. Only 6 species of amphibians. 23 species of reptiles and 102 species of mammals. So 513 species of birds recorded in Mongolia, but recently 2 new species should be added in this into this number. Means the 515 species of birds. If you look at the number out of the 515 species of birds, 36% are passage migrants. The reason for that, Mongolia is located at the junction of the 3 different flyways, East Asian, Australasian flyways, and West Asian and Central Asian flyway. So that's why the majority the species are passage migrants. Only 10% species are residents, while who wants to live in the -40 in the winter probably, but they like to breed in Mongolia anyway. So most people, most people's image, I mean the Mongolian image, most people think that Mongolia is like this country, empty, open, gray, dry country. But reality is not true. So we do have, the Mongolia comprises many different ecosystems, from Altai high mountains to Central Asian steppe, from Siberian taiga, or you call the boreal forest, to through Gobi Desert in this area. Of course, there are many transit zones and belts between the boreal forest and Gobi Desert. So this is the high mountain, only exists in this area. So 5%, it covers 5% of the whole Mongolian territory. The maximum, the peak of the mountain is 4,374 meters. So the landscape is like that: juniper bushes and the granite rocks and alpine meadows on top. So there is very nice, iconic, interesting species like Kozlov's accentor, which is endemic to Mongolia, but is not officially considered as the endemic, but more or less endemic species to Mongolia. And Alta accentor, which is all high mountain species. And of course, the bearded vultures, vulture or lammergeiers breed in this harsh habitat. Actually, lammergeier just started to breed last month in Mongolia. So mountain taiga forest, or boreal forest we called. This area is look like this. You can see the elusive spotted capercaillie and the orange-flanked bluetail, lovely singer. And the forest steppe ecosystem, or forest steppe natural zone, it covers 25% of the Mongolian territory. This unique habitat is a home for Saki falcons, Amur falcons, and yellow-breasted bunting, which is the threatened species. The steppe ecosystem, or steppe zone, round covers 20% of of Mongolia. This looks like this. Well, I would say it's endless steppe. So there is the steppe eagle. It breeds on the ground, and then the Saki falcon breeds in the cliffs and artificial substrates like pylons and poles, and then also the great bustards, they breed in the steppe, the desert steppe. So like this, and crested lark and desert wheatears, they breed. They are common breeder in the Mongolian desert steppe area. This is the Gobi Desert, the southernmost area of the country. It looks like that. Looks like very dead habitat, but in reality not. So the Hendersons, or Mongolian ground jay, the resident breeder, and then Pallas's sandgrouse also breeds in the Gobi Desert. So this is the flock of the Pallas's sandgrouse. So if somebody, I will give you, well, let's say 10 seconds, and then give me the right number after the presentation during the question and an answer session, and give me the right number. I like to give a copy of the book called A Field Guide to the Birds of Mongolia, just published 2019, I'd like to give a copy with my autograph and best wishes, of course. And this is the Gobi Desert. You can see variety of different habitats, sand dunes, and then wetlands and high Altai high mountains background. Lots of migratory birds come passing through these habitats. So this is the species richness map. If you overlap distribution maps, all occurring bird species in my country, you will get this map. Actually, we spend a year to complete this simple map. So different color represents the different number of the species in the area. They call the species richness. The species richness differs across the country. The dark brown here are 25 to 30 species in this area. So this is the just overview about Mongolia and then birds in Mongolia. So I'd like to give you just general introduction to birding. Everybody knows, but probably some audience, they really don't know what's the birding. So I like to give why we like the birds. There are so many reasons for that. I would like to point out 3 different reasons here. I know that sexual selection gives them brilliant colors. You can see that's why we like it. So this is the human beings. We get the many ideas from our Mother Nature. Actually, human beings, we are very good imitators. So all the fashion designs and colors, actually they're from the wildlife color. You know, we know birding is very exciting, but also very challenging hobby. So in this slide, I showed the immature, the lammergeier and an adult lammergeier together. Probably the family birds. Only the best photographer, excluding me, cannot stop this action on frames. So this is a small brown bird we call Pacific sweep and common sweep. The common sweep, the top speed is more than 100 km/h. So around 31 meters per second, which is one of the fast flying birds. It means in 1 second they travel 30 meters away. In such short period, you have to catch up the certain field mark. If you miss it, it will be small brown job. You know, small brown job, the expression. So that's why the bird watching or bird photography or birding is very challenging hobby. Well, it's again very difficult species to identify. But most people wouldn't think difficult. But if you are not professional the photographer, if you're not professional birder, it's of course difficult to identify those buzzards. So this is the upland buzzard adult bird. This is the long-legged buzzard adult. This is the hybrid between upland and long-legged. This one is the juvenile upland buzzard. So it means the birding is very brainstormy hobby. So it means that you have to remember all these field marks or field features of the species in your mind in 365 days. It is crazy, you know. Otherwise, it will be small or large brown jobs. As I mentioned, I will give you the free copy of my book. Please give me not the exact, but the rough number of the Pallas's sandgrouse in this frame. So I like to share bird watching. What's the bird watching benefits? I like to bird watching provides an economic benefit for the country, for family, for local nomads, and for the private companies. It promotes adventure and healthy life, supports and understanding conservation, gives the great satisfaction feeling, and then fosters friendship between different groups of birdwatchers, different groups of families, long-term experience and knowledge for your future careers. So there is the one example provides economic benefit for the country. I got this the statistics from US Fish and Wildlife Service. In 2006, the birdwatcher contributed $36 billion to American economy, which is we like to get at least $1 billion to Mongolian the economy through the bird and tourism. It's too far, but it's better to think about now. So as I mentioned before, bird watching promotes adventure and healthy life. I don't know, I can't say the healthy life is in this picture, but we usually do like that. So birding and bird watching supports understanding and true conservation of birds. It should be started from the young generation. That's my master and PhD students. We've been working together for many years. So bird watching gives the great satisfaction feeling. Well, my question, have you ever seen unhappy birder while they're watching birds in the field? I never seen. So the bird watching is a time to have a fun your children. Birding is a tool of the learning from each other. So question is why we have the benefits from birds, not birds from us? Of course, there are reasons. So birds shall work very closely with the scientists. There are a few reasons to do that. I will explain later. So birding can be one of the best tools for bird conservation. That's my understanding, my experience. So let's talk about a little bit destination. So Mongolia is I would say one of the best destination for birding, because we do have, as I mentioned before, variety of natural zones and belts. The 515 species inhabit these in natural zones. So another reason is Mongolia has quite many targeted species for many birders from different countries. So every birder has the very ambitious list. For Asian birders, probably sacred falcon, upland buzzard, steppe eagle, Amur falcon, Mongolian lark, small snow finches. That's the species in your mind to see. That's the Mongolia is the country to see all these species. Those are pretty common breeding species in my country. So this is the targeted species I like to show. Altai snowcocks, Amur falcons, Siberian ruby throats, small snow finches, Mongolian larks, demersal cranes, long-tailed rose finches, azotids. Those are quite common breeding species. And then also the Sacred Falcon, yellow-breasted bunting, meadow bunting, white-necked crane, Asian dove-witcher, they're all breed in my country. So Mongolia is a potential the country to diversify the bird watching tours and trips, because we are developing the different bird watching trips, like general bird watching, raptor watching, and bird watching cultural trip, bird photography, bird filming, video recording, bird call recording, the science-oriented birding. Some people really like this. So Mongolia also has the variety of the mammal species, the 140 species mammals. So 1,200,000 the gazelles in one place. That's the chance to see such a number of the wildlife in my country. So we need to think about the development of the birding products with the sustainable and responsible manners. So Mongolians don't touch the eggs and chicks and wild birds. Of course, we eat the chickens and eggs, don't forget it. The Mongolians are the Buddhist. Traditionally, we Mongolians, we are bird conservationists. Basically, less disturbance to any birds. That's the good opportunity to develop the sustainable bird and tourism in my country. So we do have the quite good political support from our government. In this picture, the former Minister of Sport, Culture and Tourism, she is watching a hazelhen in Siberian boreal forest in September 2012. So it means there's no bossy between birders. Very rarely someone does, we know, but very rarely do. So Mongolia, we do have quite good number of the young enthusiastic young generations of bird watchers. Lots of Mongolian Ornithological Society members. They like to observe birds with us. So Mongolia is a very safe country to travel. So it means that for investors, Mongolia is economically and politically one of the sustainable, the safe country. So we do have the shouldn't say war, but war of the birds, but not civil war. So that's the Mongolia's best country to see the true nomadic lifestyle in open landscape. The 15,000 years ago, it was in our country as today, which is very interesting. So let's move the next theme, birding and education, which is the area of my talk. That's the Mongolian expression. If humans don't understand a thing, they will become an enemy of the unknown thing. It means that if young people know very well about the birds, they will protect, they will conserve them. So birding in our education program. So I've been working for the university for 25 years. In 2014, we completed the university curriculums. Up to 60% of the contents of 2 curriculums for the natural resource management, all about ecotourism and sustainable bird and tourism development. So basically, we give the understanding of the sustainable bird and tourism and then ecotourism through the university curriculums, university courses. So since 2013, the Mongolian Ornithological Society and National University of Mongolia and Ministry of Environment Tourism together, they ran the special interest tourism training from 2013 to 2019. Well, we couldn't make it 2020 because the COVID. Our lectures covers on bird taxonomy, field marks, identifications, the birding guide ethics and responsible birding, birding for conservation sciences. The lectures given to run 200 guides and of the tour operators and the university students. So myself and then cohorts as my colleagues published 29 field identification guides to the birds and other vertebrate species in Mongolia from 2008 to 2020. These guides are very, very important source of information and on birds and birding for all the students of the university, and then the birding, the tourism company guides. So during the scientific field trips or students field practical works, this is the time to learn each other in terms of the bird identification, and then birding around the site. I usually give them a little bit free time for students and young people during the field work. Let's move to next session, birding and conservation. I like to give the birding and bird conservation policy. So you know the sacred falcon is the national bird of Mongolia. The Mongolian government issued the resolution, the 101 on 20th of October 2012. This is the my and the Mongolian Ornithological Society and National University of Mongolia and the Mongolian Academy of Sciences scientists 7 years hard work to get the own national bird from Mongolia. So a good thing is former Minister of Culture and Sport and Tourism to support our idea to bring this issue to the Mongolian government. The Mongolian government accepted this important issued this important resolution. So 2014, the society members and my team worked very hard to get the national flower of Mongolia, the Scabosa. This is the national flower of Mongolia. 2014, the Mongolian government issued another resolution for the national flower. These national symbols are very important to protect. There's the sacred falcon and a plant, the Scabosa plant species in my country, but there's a national symbols or government resolutions gave the motivation to develop the bird and tourism and products and special interest tourism action plans. Actually, we completed national action plan for the special interest tourism, including birding and bird and tourism in Mongolia in 2016. There is some shots during the opening ceremony of the National Bird Announcement in Mongolia. We organized side event, the photographic exhibition, the title "Life of Sacred Falcon." This lady is Minister of the Tourism, and some parliament members and the participants and our colleagues in this picture. We completed the regional red list in National Red Book and a summary conservation action plan for Mongolian birds in 2011. The publication are very significant sources on birds for policy makers. because all information regarding the bird species in one book. Well, unfortunately, it's English. We're still working to translate into Mongolian, but we will do very soon. They again, all images and maps, and then some data and information from the bird photographers and bird watchers. So it means the bird conservation policy should connect to the birders. Say, we organized World Migratory Bird Day. I think most people know about that. We started World Migratory Bird Day 2011. So since 2011, we did have the 20,000 school children, the 2,000 school children involved in the event. This is a very important event for the birders. So through the event, we usually organize the many bird conservation, the actions and activities like less plastic use, bird nests, and bird-friendly windows and stuff like that. So that's just a very, very important to public. So there is another Mongolian expression: changing the parents' mind is more difficult than changing the children's mind. So that's why recently we have been focusing on bird conservation activities and actions for the children to develop, I would say develop, the environmentally well educated and well responsible mannered young birders in my country. So we're working very closely with the school children. That's why the more than 2,000 children involved participated in the event. So we also doing the birding in citizen science. So we set up the bird taxonomy rarity committee in 2009. The committee consists of the members. There's a members are from the university and Academy of Science and the NGOs, and then the individuals. The most recent records of the rarities and rare species in Mongolia are from the birders and bird photographers. So the bird photographers and birders, they're very, very important, the stakeholder of the bird taxonomy rarity committee. We set up also the National Wetland Waterbird Network for the Ramsar site managers in order to gather the waterbird in wetland sites. So our challenge is capacity building. We do have the 11 Ramsar sites in Mongolia. So all the site managers of the Ramsar sites, they are members of the National Wetland Waterbird Network in country. So in other citizen science activities, the society members and the other interested people taking part of raptor migration watching 2 different sites. We started 2013 to identify a major migration corridor and hotspot of the migratory raptors. This is the joint initiative between the Asian Raptor Research Conservation Network and Mongolian Ornithological Society. So think global, do local, and you will get the better achievement. Birding, the 2012 9 September, we started National Bird Watchers Day. So since 2012, more than 400 participants joined in the event. So this is the very important event among the birders to share knowledge and experiences on birds. So the mongoliaspecies.mn, that's the platform we developed in 2007 and 11. That's the platform for the wildlife watchers. A platform very useful, very helpful to get all information regarding the vertebrate species in Mongolia. We're trying to develop very birders friendly and bird likers and bird lovers friendly platform. We're still developing it. Please check out the platform. So birding in scientific publications. You know, the most well-known bird scientists and most scientists are the most hardcore or keen birders. So we completed the book, A Field Guide to the Birds of Mongolia in 2019. One of the book author called Chris Lee is one of my friends. He's from Boston state, so he's the very, very keen birder. So that's why we completed this book with the Bloomsbury Company. So probably, you know, one of our friends know this man. He's the Hadarom Shurohai, who's the author of the handbook of the birds of the Western Palearctic. So we've been working together for the many well-known scientists in Mongolia. Probably, you know, Lars Svensson, you know, the Collins Guide, and then Dick Forsman, the Raptor Identification Guide book. Per Ahlstrom, you know, the famous book Wagtails and Pipits. Richard Naoroji from India, Raptors in Indian subcontinent. Reuven Yosef, Strikers of the World, very famous book. And then Scott Edwards from Harvard University. We work together in the field. They are good birder, you know. So we're trying to develop the e-books and application for the birders. This is our challenging work. I think we will complete this application very soon. So again, we completed the Mongolian Red List of Birds and Samurai Conservation Action Plan, as I mentioned before. The most data of vagrants and rarities are from the birders, as I mentioned before. This images, all the nice photographs are from the bird photographers. It means that we have to, I mean, the scientists and birders and bird photographers and bird watchers should work together. So this is the Ornis Mongolica. This is the only peer-reviewed journal for Mongolia right now. The good thing is birders contribute the printing cost of the journal. So one issue with the birders is that they are not keen to write their records in the field. That's the bit challenging issue. They don't like to write something. So we're trying to involve those people into the scientific publications. So here is some nice shots to remember the field trips 2012 and 17 with the Harvard University people. So you can see the man with the blue t-shirt while taking the photo of us. He's watching birds. They are very, very keen birders, you know. So, well, some people like to express the freedom in the middle of open plain, you know, top of the roof of car. As I mentioned before, the Hadarom Shurohai visited Mongolia to collect some target species images We traveled together 45 days in the field. So he did the handbook, Birds of the Western Palearctic, and then handbook, photograph handbook, Birds of the World. And then also we published a couple of papers based on this, the trip. So it means the bird photographers, the birders, they're very good scientists as well. So probably you know this man. He's the Per Ahlström from the Uppsala University, Sweden. We worked together in Mongolia. So we described, not described, we would say we confirmed the Asian short-toed lark in Mongolia, at least 2 different species. Used to be the subspecies of the Asian short-toed lark. Now is based on our work. There's a subspecies, should be separate species. So also we're working on the Mongolian short-toed lark papers. In 2020 to 2021, we published 3 different papers in peer-reviewed journals. The good thing is we use the completely the same method the birders use, like bird song recording, ID images, and all this stuff. So next move, the part of the presentation, birding in partnership. So without the sustainability of finance, those works will not go farther. So we usually work with the tour operator companies. We work with the NGOs. We work with the individual birders. So because we know the birds better than them. They know how to deal with the birders better than us. That's why we usually share the knowledge and experiences for the birding tourism. So we created many great birding and bird photography tours with those are private companies, many partners. If you visit Mongolia, you will check out the mongolica.org website to get the professional birding tours. Actually, the Mongolica the tour companies, they usually contribute some budget for our student tuition fee and then some events of the society. So we organized in 2016, we organized the Mongolia fundraising tour, basically a rattler birding, rattler photography tour. The tour was very successful. We worked together with the Asian Rattler Conservation Network family, and then also involved the Minister of Environment and Tourism. Actually, we invested 60% of the income of the trip to amur-falcon monitoring at Hostenro National Park for 3 months in 2017. My students published 3 conference presentations and 2 scientific papers in peer-reviewed journals. 1 paper was the top downloaded publications of 2018 to 2019 in the World Academic Press, which is quite good achievement. So we're going to organize the fundraising tour for rattler conservation in July 2022. The raised fund will spend for the rattler migration in Eastern Mongolia, and then also complete the Birds of Mongolia monograph in 2022. So we like to, we're working with the private companies to establish national bird sanctuary near Ulaanbaatar. the land ownership is a bit difficult at the moment. We're gonna raise the fund from the Ratterbergen tour in 2022. We will they spend this money for the National Bird Sanctuary. So the birding in partnership relationship, we do have the good donors. They support many activities and then many young bird researchers. Here's the one man we call the Amra. He completed his master thesis on the electrocution problems of birds in Mongolia. Is Tolga. He's completed master thesis on the other-winged magpie in Mongolia. Finished PhD in Germany. This man also completed his the master thesis on raptors. So those are three guys also completed their master thesis on different aspects of the birds. I do have the 9 master students complete. The 9 master students completed their thesis for the last 7 years at my university. Right now, 2 PhD students, 3 master students, 6 undergraduate students working together in the field using the donated optics and books. And one of our donors, Susan Crease, I don't like to mention the full name of that, of those friends, they supported 17 volumes of the Handbook Birds of the World in 2015. That's a very, very important donations to my students and society members to complete the books like Birds of Mongolia and then other books. So I would say I'm just presenters. Behind me, there are lots of very good, encouraging personals, very good donors, very good students. I'd like to express my thanks to all those people who are teachers and supervisors, colleagues from the ministries, all young members of the society, and then students, and then all drivers and encouraged individuals, international and national collaborators, international and then national donors. Thank you very much. That's my talk.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Gombo.
You're welcome.
Excellent presentation. Excellent presentation. It's very good. So now we welcome questions from everybody in this meeting and as well as people on Facebook.
So the Victor and Mike, please consider the number of the Palace of Sandgrounds I mentioned.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah.
There is somebody said about 200 birds. It's
yeah, Andy said.
yeah, it's
Andy says 450.
Yeah.
450. That's less. There should be more than that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, keep guessing. People.
Maybe you can you still show the picture? Like there are a lot.
Well,
Of...
all Palace of Sandgrass flew away. That's the challenging hobby, isn't it? Of course.
Whatever number will do.
Because there are a lot of latecomers.
So anyway, that's the more than 400, less than 600 though.
See,
I would
people.
say 550.
Who said?
Me, Michele.
Kelly.
I bet 550.
That's the very, very close number.
Oh,
Oh, Mom, what's your bet? What's your bet?
Well, I like
600.
to give the book to you.
Thank you. So
I'm very,
excited.
very happy. But please understand me. I cannot post it now.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Probably we will
worry.
meet the Asian Bird Fair meeting somewhere. Otherwise, I will post later after the lockdown.
no worry, Gombo. They will receive the book in Mongolia. No worry.
Don't worry. That was so interesting. So,
That's
sir,
our plan.
yeah, my question is, how long do you think would be a good amount of time to spend in Mongolia to see a good number of birds?
So a good number means the 515. Well, the best time is June because the breeding season, because the all birds with the breeding plumage, and easy to find them, and then weather is very, very pleasant, like plus 20 to midday, and then plus 18 to 20 midnight. So June is best time, but I would say 200 species for 14 days or 16 days trip. That's the very, very practical number.
What fun. And we can ride horses to the birding sites?
Oh yeah. Well, the easy thing is we can ask the horsemen. You know, the nomads, they usually use the horse for transport. They're galloping around you, and then you can wave them and ask them, can I ride horse? And they usually say, yeah, no problem. And then my concern is it's better to do in tourist camps because the horses are not the countryside people, they use the not gentle horses.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the
wild.
tourist camps, they should
They're
have the
wild.
gentle horses. So it's
Oh,
better
no.
to what?
Oh no, can you imagine? Where's the bird? Oh, the horse ran away over there. Oh,
And
no.
a camel riding as well. That's the good.
There you
good
finally
plan.
gonna get camel ride.
Camels.
Yeah, we do have the two camels, not one one.
The
The
dromedaries.
yeah.
So cool.
We call the Bactrian camel, right?
Oh, the
Bactria,
Bactrian. That's right.
Bactria.
That's
Yeah.
right. Dromedaries are the single.
They one camel. So best it's really up to you if you want to see the black-billed capercaillie, which is nightmare species. But good thing is we found our friends, I mean my colleagues, they found the lurking site, lurk, the dancing site.
Mhm.
So last year I spent 2 nights to get the better shots. So most people, they really like to see this basically nice looking black chicken.
Oh,
So
cool.
I know, but very rude word, but most people really like to see this species. Another one is the Altai snowcock. That's the very, very difficult species. That's why I'm saying it's really up to you. You know, if you are really keen to see the older birds, you need to spend more time, but no more than 16 days.
For the snowcock, will we have to go, like, is it high elevation?
Yeah, we do. We should do that. Well, it depends, if you are photographers, I mean, if you want to get the very close shots, you have to climb. If you want to see them, if you watch them, that's fine. We will camp in the valley, and in early morning, just put up your scope, and then you can see it.
Wow. It's amazing. Thank you.
We haven't seen. We haven't found the right site for the Altai snowcock. We used to see in one area, but due to the disturbance from the tourists and the livestock, then I think birds moved to the other areas of the high mountain, which was a shame, but you know, it happens.
We have one question from Facebook. Ogana wants to know what types of fruit trees is suitable or likely attract birds in Mongolia.
Well, I'm not the tree expert. We do have the couple of fruit trees in the Boreal Tiger Mountain Forest, and blackberry, or called the black cherry, I think they're called. There's quite few, at least. Let me count. I know the 6 different species of fruit trees in Mongolia. So fruit trees, they usually grow in taiga forest, but near Ulaanbaatar city there are fruit trees. But those are trees attracting many migratory species, seed-eating migratory species in mostly autumn, in August and September. So, well, yeah, I don't know. Probably he asked the species name of that. I can send the name of the trees.
Yeah, or you leave the message on our Facebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that
later. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, later that. Yeah, of course, the trees. You know, in open desert steppe or open steppe, there is no trees at all. Just open country. Suddenly there is plant trees or very scattered the trees. The spring migration means from the mid-April to late May. That's the spring migration. So every single tree during the spring migration or autumn migration, every single tree should have at least, I don't know, 5-6 species of Phylloscopus wobblers in one tree. Those are small ones, very difficult to see in breeding ground because you have to drive boreal forest. But in the migration season, easily to see them, because if you find the tree in the middle of steppe, drive there and then you can find and then easily see them. Right. So the migration is good.
Yeah, I've been to Mongolia 2 years ago, and I know that the best seasons from June to September. Yeah. What's the difference between June, July, and September?
I'm afraid, but you felt a little bit cold, right? Okay. Cold, but you know, in September, that's the bit chilly time, getting chilly. So, well, June is better. The difference is in autumn, many birds, they don't have nice breeding plumage, but mostly the transit between breeding to wintering plumage. But in summertime, you can get the very nice breeding plumage. So that's the main difference. And also you can see late June, you can see the adult birds together with the young birds. I mean, you can see difference between the adult and juveniles, and a little bit late June, or let's say mid-July or late July, you can see the first the first winter bird and an adult birds. That's the difference. Otherwise, we do have the meat, we do have the cars and horses, the same thing in June and September. So the birds is slightly different. But the spring migration, I mean the autumn migration, you can see the big number of birds, and during the breeding season, they scattered over the open area. And in autumn or spring or autumn migration, they gather in one, as I mentioned, tree or wetlands, and easy to see them in big numbers.
Okay, thank you. Are there more questions? To our old friends, Gombo?
No question?
No question?
All right.
Right, okay. So please.
Hi, I might have one question.
Oh yeah, okay, Rajendra, here we go.
Hello,
Yes,
good
go ahead.
evening, good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry that I joined a little bit later.
You're late,
And
yes.
also, my area, the internet has been, interrupting, so I could not hear properly.
Yes. So what's your question?
So I'm going to see Dr. Gombo's talk. Yeah, the Gombo's talk later on. So, Gombo, how about this demersal crane breeding ground? How far, how easy to see that one? Because we love to see that one. I love to see that demersal crane breedings.
Well, I can promise you 200% to
Can
see,
you hear me?
to show them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
would
hear
like
you.
to see them in, like breeding ground with long sticks.
The
You
the
must be
Rajendra,
getting-
that's easy stuff. You can drive. We can drive only less than 20 kilometers from Ulaanbaatar city, and then you can see the breeding pairs with chicks.
Wow.
I don't know in Nepal which
Okay,
species is quite
I
common.
love to see that.
All right, that's no problem. We can guarantee it.
It's a promise.
Sorry.
So, yeah, it's a promise. So Rajendra,
if you
we'll see
if you
them.
visit.
And do they breed in Mongolia?
Yeah, they do breed in Mongolia. Actually, the demersal cranes, they breed in dry habitat close to the wetlands. So, as I mentioned before, the Mongolians, we don't touch the eggs and chicks of migratory any wild birds. So that's why you can get very close, like would say, I don't know, 10-20 meters away if you use the car with the chicks. But we don't like to close with chick. I mean, the breeding pairs with the chicks, but that's it's not difficult species anyway.
Yep, it's guaranteed. No problem.
Well, I would say, but no, the demersal crane, that's not a problem at all.
Yeah, we do get quite good numbers of demersal crane.
Right.
But lately, due to our the changes into agriculture patterns, so they are not doing any stop over in Nepal or very less. So they are straight down to the south, in the Indian territory, India territory. So
right.
we have very much the thrill to see the real one in nearby. We only see into the sky, and we've been doing the research, migration watch research from last 4 years with the support from actually Taiwan Forest Bureau. And at some point we'd like to to see this breeding ground and also the full winter ground. That's why I'm interested on
Yes, so you must visit Mongolia for the museum.
Not only demersal, I think quite few, the bunch of list of species.
Price list.
Yeah, Rajendra, if you have time, just visit Mongolia and spend together a week. I think a week for the demersal crane. That's fine. It's not a problem at all. And then another thing, Przewalski wild horse. Have you heard about the Przewalski wild horses?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
That's the wild horses you can see in Mongolia, at the 100 kilometers west of Ulaanbaatar city.
Wow.
One of the PhD students, he's managing all the reintroduction program at the park.
Reintroduction?
They're super endangered.
Yeah,
Wow.
Hey, Gombo,
Yes.
why don't you organize ABF in Mongolia one day? Then invite everybody to Mongolia.
I do understand that, but the budget, you know, my issue, my headache is budget. How can I raise the fund for that? That's my issue. Otherwise, it's not difficult. It's not
Let's talk
issue.
about it. Yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in 2023 or 24.
That's such close.
Well, you have to go 2 or 3 years to go, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
Let's plan it. Yeah. I'm
And
with
the-
you, Victor.
Yeah. Before we go, you know, there's a question from Rosalind Chong. Well, he said that, you know, any specific tour agent that arrange tours for bird watching.
Yeah, there is quite few tour agents arranging bird tours. If you interested in just general bird watching tour, that's fine. There is quite many bird watching tours. If you really want to see the target species or particular species, it's better to contact to the professional, the tour companies. As I mentioned, I wrote there, please check the mongolica.org. That's the company run the professional bird watching tour. I'm advisor to the company, so I usually carefully check the species list and then arrangement, all the stuff. If I have free time, of course. Otherwise, you know. So because those guys are professional guys to show the specific species. I mean the target species. So otherwise, just send email to me. I will coordinate it. That's no problem.
So later, please leave your email on our Facebook page as well.
Oh, okay, I'll do.
Yeah. And Marishan from Cambodia wants to know when is the breeding season for the demoiselle crane?
Basically, the egg laying, May is egg laying the month through the June, and then the chicks will be small in the early July, and then August, mid-August, the chicks can be fledged. So basically from May to August, that's the breeding season of the demoiselle cranes. It's common, a very common species in my country. So we do have, well, lots of people are asking cranes. We do have the 6 species of cranes. Demoiselle, that's the very common species. And then, not very, but common species. And a common crane, it's breeding, would say uncommon, but it's easy to see them. And the white-necked crane, that's the common crane. I mean the common occurrence. And then the hooded crane, that's a little bit tricky species. In Eastern Mongolia, that's easy to see them. And then Siberian crane, that's only summer visitor, probably less than 10 individuals a year, scattered across the Mongolia, I mean more Eastern Mongolia. And then red crowned or Japanese crane, it's kind of vagrant, but it's not vagrant, but we call it non-breeding summer visitors, but only 1 or 2 individuals were seen in Eastern Mongolia. And then just recently, the sandhill crane found in East Mongolia, only one single species. Last year, one photographer, certainly photographer, he thought a common crane, but he was the black-necked crane.
Mhm.
So, and then Chinese friends, they asked me to check. And I went there. The bird moved 20 kilometers to the north of the place where the guy first found. And I found the same individual, the 20 kilometers north of the first place. And then they asked me to check out this couple of sites in Altai Mountains, wetlands. We went there with my master's students, spent 3 weeks. Well, we found only amateur individual, but not breeding pairs. So my Japanese friends, Chinese friends, they keep asking me to revisit the site again this summer. Well, planning to do that. I'm not sure I can find the black-necked crane breeding pair in the west, but
okay.
habitat, very right habitat.
Mhm.
How easy to observe steppe eagle breeding? Oh, it's not difficult. 100 kilometers, 50 kilometers south of the Ulaanbaatar, there is breeding pairs. So my students, they are monitoring wind, the farm. They're doing monitoring work at the wind farm area near Ulaanbaatar, 60 kilometers away from Ulaanbaatar. They found two steppe eagles every year. I mean, the two nests of steppe eagles every year. Then we put the satellite transmitter on one chick 2 years ago to understand the movement in the wind farm area, and then migration as well. Actually, bird migrated to the south, the China, and then it reached to Myanmar. And it's pretty good idea to monitor the breeding steppe eagles using the satellite transmitter in terms of the risk assessment of the collision. I mean, the collision risk assessment of the from the wind turbines. So that's the thing we done.
Okay, if there's no more questions, then we must come to the end of our presentation. Thank you again, Dr. Gombo, for the great presentation.
Thank you, friends.
Okay, before we go, Mike, where are we going next week?
Oh, wait. Next week, we're going to El Séptimo Paraíso, Ecuador with Ana Lucia Goetzchel.
Wow. Just Spanish.
Yes, in Ecuador, in the cloud forest in Mindo.
Okay.
Let's take a group picture first.
Let's take a group photo first. Okay.
Can we ask everyone to turn on their cameras?
Yes.
Uy, Arakaki.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Arakaki-san.
please turn on your camera.
Can we ask everyone to turn on your camera?
Yes, please.
Sui Peng, Helen Chum, Rosalind.
Helen Chun, yes.
With 0304.
Yimli Firma.
With Davasuren. And one more,
and
I couldn't read.
0304. and one from Mongolia. I don't know how to read that. Gombo, do you know his or her name in Mongolian?
Yumjirma is my camp.
And the other one.
Yumje Tawa Hirlen camera second.
And the other one, Dr. Gombo.
The Hirlin.
No, the other one
Okay.
with the characters. Is that Mongolian?
Yeah, she is Mongolian.
Please ask her to turn on the camera.
Yumcha camera sachkin. Hirte camera sachkin.
And Helen Chung, where are you? Are you still with us?
I think he is sleeping.
Yeah, Roslyn. Well, she needs coffee. All right.
Yeah.
Rosalind. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now let's take the photo. Just look at the camera and smile and
Camera.
1,
Hello.
2, 3. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Hey.
okay.
Thank you, Gombo, again. Thank you,
Thank
everybody,
you.
for coming.
Okay.
And we'll see you
Oh, yeah.
anytime next week. Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Go. Good night from
Good
Malaysia.
night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you for listening.
Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Jim Chong.
Night.
Bye.
Kim Chong, how are you?
Austin.
Excellent. Hope everybody is fine.